If you haven't already seen it, I made another video where it pretty much listed all the reasons why I feel like you probably shouldn't be dating while you're in nursing school. In this video, I'm gonna look at the other side. So essentially, I'm gonna give you some pros to dating and as well dating while in nursing school, and as well, I'm gonna give you kind of like some points to think about that I think that will be really beneficial to you if you want to, in a way, keep your relationship healthy through nursing school. So let's get started. Hey everyone, this is Thomas from NurseMoneyTalk. So before I get started with the meat and potatoes of this video, if you will, let me go ahead and take care of a couple of things. One, invite you to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And two, if you are in nursing school and you are wanting, some resources, if you will, to kind of help you do well and pass nursing school and ultimately pass the NCLEX, there's some resources that you'll see in the description below. But so two of them that I'll give is one, you can go to nursemoneytalk.com/tutor to find like a tutor to help you, kind of deal with some tough topics, if any, that you'll encounter in nursing school. And then the second part is nursemoneytalk.com/nursing student academy. All one word. You'll see it in you'll see it on the screen, and then also in the description below. And then that is to like a course, if you will. It's kind of like, I look at it more as a supplemental material, your textbooks or whatnot that you'll get in nursing school. So definitely check those out. Now let's get started with this. Let's kind of hit on two pros that I think dating in nursing school will get you. Number one, in a way, it is like a safe companion is what I'm calling it. And what I mean by that is just that, just having somebody who you can trust, that maybe more on a deeper level, and while you're navigating, through this journey. And so this can be pretty beneficial if, like, let's say you are going to a program that's like out of town. I think it's really nice to have somebody who's there you can rely on that's actually in town, assuming, you're dating somebody actually in town, maybe like that lives near you. And then also this would give you potentially like an emergency contact number if, God forbid something was to happen. So that's the first one. The second one is that I think, this will give you like a personal cheerleader. Nursing school is you're gonna be demoralized and you're gonna lose motivation probably more times than you can count. And I think it's pretty nice having somebody who's there with you, hopefully, like right along next to you or somewhere, next to you on the journey that you're on. But I'll talk a little bit more about that and kind of like my other points on, like looking at some of the ways you can help keep your relationship healthy while you're going through nursing school. So number one on that is discuss ahead of time on what your relationship will look like during school. So, for example, like, if you're dating somebody, or maybe, before you got into nursing school, or, you met them while you're in nursing school. So just kind of, I guess, just lay the groundwork, if you will, on what the relationship will look like. So for example, like, are you, is there going to be a lot of time spent together? Is there not going to be a lot of time spent together? What day, if any? Maybe talk about what your class schedule is going to look like. Are you going to be working? Maybe class and work schedule. Just kind of, I guess the way I would say it is just kind of get like a very broad look on like the trajectory of where the relationship is going. Honestly, something else I would probably include on this is maybe, depending where you're at, see if this is even like a serious long-term relationship, because that might, change up what you do and, throughout this whole process. The second thing I would encourage you to do is to figure out what you need. And so what are you gonna need in the relationship during this particular time? So for example, are you gonna need space every so often? Do you need like a cheerleader? Somebody who's gonna, be there on your sideline, pom-poms and all, kind of help motivating you forward. Are you gonna need some tough love? It's like, hey, you need to get your butt up, go to clinical. You need to be honest with yourself and with your partner on specifically what your needs are going to be. And then on that same track, the third thing is to figure out what your partner needs. Because I get it. You're in nursing school. I get it that might be the most important thing to you at the moment. But I don't think you should 100% ignore the other person you're with, because, and going to number 4, you still need to make time for each other. I get that nursing school is hard. I get that there is a lot that's going to be required of you. I get that some of you are going to be working as well during this process. Hey, I worked during nursing school. I worked full time, more than full time. Sometimes I was going through school full time. I also had, I had a relationship as well. So I get that that's going to be a struggle, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out a way to make time for the other person. You just do. Like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Because if you want this person to be, let me rephrase that actually. If you want to increase the likelihood that this person will be around at the end of your journey, then you have to give a little. And what this looks like will look very different for different people, because at the end of the day, every relationship is different. Your partner you're gonna need, you're gonna be different. You're gonna have different needs than what your partner wants and needs, and then he or she's gonna have, different wants and needs that are gonna be different from what you look at, from what you want. And so ultimately, it's trying to figure out what that looks like, because, when I say you have to make time for each other, this isn't even implying that it has to be like very grand, like all weekend deal. No, it could be little things. Depending on if your partner, if your significant other's in school, maybe it's like spending time to study together at night, like one time a week, and then like after that you both go and get ice cream or something. Maybe you have like a standing like matinee movie time, like it's like Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, whatever, every Tuesday, for that semester, and then it'll switch when the new semester comes in based on class. But every Tuesday for that semester, you guys show up for a matinee movie or something like that. And that's what I mean, like it's just gonna be like different. Maybe it's like every other weekend you guys go and hang out. The thing about it is that you have to know the other person, and because maybe it's not even time that the other person wants. Maybe it's just that they want to know and feel like, that they're still important, that in a way that they're still a priority in your life. And, you're going to say, you might say, well, school's my priority, which, it could be a priority, but just keep in mind that, school's your priority, and, your significant other may not be around at the end of that school journey. Honestly, here's some real talk. Nursing school is hard, but come on, it's for most students, it's not like you're going to spend every waking moment, studying. I mean, or in class or clinicals or lectures or whatever. It's, for most of you, that's not going to be the case. Like even me and the amount of hours I was working and everything else I was doing, I still had some down times here and there. It wasn't a lot, but I still had some. Ultimately, it's about you figuring out what your priority is. So if you look at a situation where, like, for example, like, I think everybody has, like, oh, I want to exercise, I want to eat, I want to sleep, and then nursing school. Those are all priorities, but they might not be ordered in the exact same way. And then maybe you decide you're going to throw your significant other in there, or then maybe you're going to throw friends in there, families. Here's another one, sports. Like maybe there's, NBA, NFL, whatever. Maybe you like watching that. Maybe there's like a TV show where you made time for that TV show. And so those are all priorities that are gonna be listed that you'll have. It's just about where are you going to plug that in? Because interestingly enough, like, some of you are going to say, well, school's a priority. I don't have time for my significant other, but yet you make time for that show or whatever that's like an hour long every single week. You starting to see what I'm saying? And to that, I'm not even saying that you're wrong or that you should feel bad for wanting to put that show or do whatever else like ahead of your significant other. That's not even what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that you have to be honest with yourself. You kind of have to be honest with them as well, and just say, like, if you are not a priority right now, then you need to let them know, and then that potentially will be the end of it. But if this is somebody who you want them to be around at the end, if you enjoy their companionship, you want them to be around at the end of the journey, maybe they're marriage material or whatever the case is, then you're going to have to reorder those priorities and figure out a way to kind of fit them in there. Even if you truly are struggling in terms of time, trying to fit them in and into your life, or in other words, make them feel like they're important and still a priority, that's going to look different. I feel like at times it might not even necessarily take up as much time as you think. So for example, there was a book that I read, I've read a couple times. This was a while back. It was called The 5 Love Languages. I think it was like by, it was, I can't remember who the author is actually, but it was like The 5 Love Languages. I'll put a link to the descriptions below. But in there, it talked about how people like to receive love. Well, it actually talks about how people express love, and then how people like to receive love as well. And so being words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and gifts. And so if you know that your significant other, like gifts are their love language, that's how one of the ways they like to be shown that somebody cares about them, then maybe it's just by like every so often, maybe you go, buy them a little gift or whatever. Because the thing about, with somebody who likes to receive gifts and that's their love language, if you will, it's not even like you're buying expensive gifts. Sometimes it could just be like something very small. Maybe you talked about, I can't even think of an example. You talked about something and then you go buy them a gift that kind of relates to that thing that you talked about. And so I feel like I'm doing a poor job at showing kind of like these examples. But the point being that the effort does need to show. And I think I've said this several times already, because ultimately, if you want them to be around, you just kind of need to show them that they are important even in this journey. And I mean, if they're not that important to you in that journey, there's nothing wrong with that. But just be honest with you, and then and then just as importantly, be honest with them, because you don't want to be stringing people along. And also, the other thing to think about is that you don't want a situation where things go really south and you end up breaking up or whatever, like right before an exam, an important exam, or right before like a finals, because that's just horrible. From experience, it just sucks all the way around. I think that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button, and I will catch you very soon in that next video.